Welcome back to the second half of the South Sub Highlight Show. Again, I'm Paris Buckingham.
And I'm Ashley Zarek, and we hoped you grabbed your popcorn because this one's going to be good. Coming your way first, we'll check out the long shots taking on Invasion.
Plus the third installment of the All-Stars versus Everybody Eats. Both games came down to the wire. They were worth the extra butter.
So let's check out the 4-5 and 6-3 contests.
E2 and the All-Stars split their first two meetings. St. Johnson goes hard in the paint. Cornelius Home Sweet Corn makes the backdoor pass to Brian Shorewood, Illinois for the and one. The All-Stars then ask, what can Brown do for you? First, AJ clears the lane, then Chris drives the lane. CB4 from the outside, and finally, AJ floats a shot and is granted the shooter's role. The All-Stars are again the benefactors of the shooter's bounce when Johnson lost one in the air. The Rabbit Hobson had a poor shooting performance, only 21% from the field. Speaking of hops, a few guys get their cha-cha slide on. CB4, one hop this time. Shorewood, Illinois, one hop this time. Hobson, another hop this time, and will end the half. The All-Stars looking to repeat last week's outcome versus E2. AJ has a threesome. Travis isn't as lucky, but Devin Smooth Walker gets it in. Travis is on the rebound and goes coast to coast for the finish. Speaking of coast, West Coast Robinson gets into the show with a driving floater, and the game is knotted, but Home Sweet Corn sustains the momentum with the and one. Number 3 connects on a 3. And it's Chris versus Chris when Brown lulls Hobson to sleep, then knocks down the tray. E2 looking to close out the first round with a win. Shorewood finishes with 11, and Hobson extends the lead with a short jumper. CB4 pulls his team within 1 from the freebie line. Then Travis misses the first of 2, but puts E2 ahead by 2 on his second attempt. Chris Brown steps out on the inbound pass, and Hobson closes the deal with a pair of freebies. E2 is the final piece to the Final Four puzzle.
Invasion taking on the long shots in a quarterfinal matchup, and Scott 1T Rabarchek kicks it out to Big Bill Neubauer, who sinks the tray. Petey Pablo Cazor using the shooter's roll to get it to go, and here he is again, this time from outside the paint. He puts 3 more on the board for Invasion. Little Bradner's turn now with the miss, but the long shots recover. Invasion's not ready for the offensive transition. They couldn't stop I'm a St. Ledger. Invasion using their gunner to keep putting points on the board. Petey Pablo on the wing here sends it to the basket, and it's nothing but net. I'm a St. Ledger mirroring that move. He steps to the wing and pulls off an identical play. He's not done. He continues his streak with this layup. And here he is again, adding 3 to the score. David London Bridgewater maneuvering around the basket and the Invasion defenders for the bank shot, and the long shots now lead by 8. Dan, this is my league. Bradner takes a turn here, but it won't go. Scott 1T takes advantage of the miss, sends the pass to David London Bridgewater. He'll cut to the basket, putting in 2 of his 12. This is my league. Bounce passes to Petey Pablo, who's effective once again, finishing the game with an impressive 21 points and 10 rebounds. Bridgewater fails to convert. Bradner grabs the rebound, sends it to Paul Cazor on the solo fast break, and the long shots lead 38-32 at the half. Act 2 begins with this 3-pointer from Broadway Joe Hughes on the wing. Fast forwarding a bit, long shots up 55-51. AJ Porterhouse Stake sends it up and in, finishing with an impressive 11 rebounds, by the way. This is my league on the move now. He hits the J, but St. Ledger couldn't be contained. Putting in another good move, he was filling it up all night long, finishing the game as the team's top scorer with 32 points and 4 rebounds. And that would be enough to give the long shots the 66-63 win.
With the playoffs in full swing, it seems that the guys were focusing their attention on winning the game.
That's right. So the top plays for this week did suffer a little bit. We're only bringing you 3 top plays, but don't worry, they're definitely still worth watching.
Coming in at number 3, the white Mr. Connie with not 1, but 2 fast break slams. The first with both hands and the second with 1.
No, it's not Hillary Clinton, but Frank Cochise Leslie is making his case for Secretary of Defense. He had a total of 3 blocks over 2 games.
In our top play of the quarterfinal week, there are a few things going on. First, we have to acknowledge the high rising block by P. Smooth, but also Elmore loses his trousers, and it is a full moon. And no, it's not the Twilight Saga. Well, that's all for this week's edition of the South Sub Highlight Show.
We'll be back next week with the final installment for this season's show, where a champion will finally be crowned.
And by that time, LeBron James will have an NBA home.
See you next week.
See you next week, Scott.